Hey yo, it's Fitness65 bringing you a new video. Hope you guys are having a good Merry Christmas and some of you got the things that you want and hopefully you enjoyed your Christmas and happy Merry Christmas to the people who just woke up and who are just opening their presents right now. Hope you got what you want and your Christmas has been good so far. But yeah, this is just me bringing in a special video today. It's going to be my WrestleMania 26 Dream Card. Now, most people tend to do their WrestleMania 26 Dream Card in August. Some people tend to do it in September, but I'm going to do mine's real early in December to sort of do it right now, like sort of get you ready for WrestleMania because WrestleMania is coming pretty soon, 2 months, and then WrestleMania is coming. So I'm just gonna give you my dream card of matches that I would love to see at WrestleMania 26, or you are pretty much know what's gonna happen, know what matches you're gonna see at WrestleMania 26. So let's get started with this video. At number one, the first match will probably be Kane versus Sheamus. Now this will be a match to get Sheamus and Kane on the card, and we pretty much know that Sheamus is going to lose the WWE title probably in January or February. He's most likely going to end up losing it back to Cena, so this will be something to give Sheamus to do and sort of build his credibility and his character so people will take him seriously and they won't look at him as a joke. So it'll be a really good matchup, monster versus monster, and there will be good build up, and this will be one of those SmackDown versus Raw interpromotional matchups with Kane being from SmackDown and Sheamus being from Raw. You're gonna have some very good build up with Sheamus saying that he would wanna that he's the only monster in the WWE and there's no one who could stop him. And then of course you have Kane coming out and saying that I'm the only true monster in the WWE. You could just sort of build the feud off of that, and that will be your first matchup. And I would have Sheamus go over Kane to sort of build Sheamus's character and get people talking about Sheamus again, and people take him more seriously now. And yeah, it'd be a match to get Sheamus over because Kane doesn't really mind. Kane is one of those wrestlers who doesn't mind putting guys over, and he wouldn't mind putting a guy like Sheamus over. And this will be a way to get Sheamus over as a monster. The second match on here would be the Money in the Bank matchup between Christian, Shelton Benjamin, John Morrison, Yoshitatsu, Evan Bourne, The Miz, Drew McIntyre, MVP, and R-Truth. I know that's too many guys, but it'll just be a way to get most of these guys on the pay-per-view. This should be a very good Money in the Bank matchup. It won't be as good as last year's, but you know it's going to be a very good Money in the Bank matchup. You'll have Shelton Benjamin do his usual Money in the Bank spots. You'll have Christian do his thing. You'll have Evan Bourne do his thing in this matchup. The Miz sort of out doing his thing. Yoshitatsu will be your MVP in this matchup. Drew McIntyre will be sort of limited in this matchup. Same as MVP. John Morrison will pretty much be another one of those MVPs in this matchup, and R-Truth will be another one of those MVPs. In the end, though, I would probably have John Morrison go over to sort of establish his character and get his character back on his winning ways, and thus John Morrison will be having that briefcase for 5 or 6 months before cashing it in to fight the World Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, that'll be my Money in the Bank matchup for the number 2 matchup. Number 3 matchup will be a Divas title matchup between Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix, and Melina. Well, Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix, and I guess Mickie James or Melina, whoever. This will be a decent triple threat women's matchup, and I would try to limit it to where it won't be a really long triple threat women's matchup to sort of get the crowd pumped up, but sort of not get the crowd bored. So yeah, this will be a 4 to 5 minute matchup, and I had Beth Phoenix go over to sort of establish her dominance in the women's division, and that'll be the start of her face turn because it looks like they're going to turn her face on SmackDown. So that'll be the start of Beth Phoenix's push and her face run. Number 3 would be The Undertaker against Chris Jericho. Now, most people are hoping for another Shawn Michaels Undertaker matchup too. I'm hoping for a Chris Jericho Undertaker matchup because I would love to see this matchup. Now I know these two had some matches on SmackDown. Most of them ended in interference or run-ins, but this will be a very clean matchup. You have some very good build to this matchup with Chris Jericho saying he's done everything by winning World Heavyweight, winning the title, beating Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the same night, but the one thing he would always wanted to accomplish in his career is beating The Undertaker, and thus you can set the feud heading into WrestleMania, and that'll be a very good, high, intense feud. And then, of course, you have Undertaker wanting to get his revenge on Chris Jericho for attacking him, because you know Chris Jericho's going to attack him, and thus you can just build a storyline all the way up to WrestleMania 26. And thus you would have Chris Jericho and Undertaker go at it, and I pretty much would have the Undertaker go over Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho taking Undertaker to the limits, to the point where you actually think Jericho's going to end the undefeated streak, but Undertaker would go over in a fashion of Undertaker reversing a move and putting Chris Jericho in the tombstone, and thus that'll be the end of the matchup. But yeah, that's the matchup I would have on this pay-per-view instead of Shawn Michaels and Undertaker 2. The fourth matchup on here would be the battle of two former friends in a regular one-on-one matchup or a Hell in a Cell matchup. Triple H versus HBK in a battle of two former friends. I pretty much would have Shawn Michaels turn on Triple H, or most people would have Triple H turn on Shawn Michaels, because most people have been waiting for a Triple H heel turn since he's been face ever since 2006. I think you could have an argument with that, but by having Triple H turn on Shawn Michaels, yeah, Triple H turning on Shawn Michaels wanting to get his revenge, and thus the two having a Hell in a Cell matchup at WrestleMania 26 to determine who's the strongest member of DX. And I pretty much would have Triple H go over, and thus Shawn Michaels would pretty much be out of wrestling for a while before coming back, because that's the rumors going around that he wants to have a match at WrestleMania 26, and then he wants to rest himself before coming back. And then I guess you can have Shawn Michaels get his revenge when he comes back on Triple H by Triple H attacking him at the end of the match. So you can do something like that. But yeah, that's what the match I would have at WrestleMania 26. The fifth match on here would be Rey Mysterio and CM Punk. The battle of two guys sort of fighting back to get their credibility back, or the battle of who needs to win more to sort of put them back in contention into the World Heavyweight title scene. You have a very good story heading into this matchup, with CM Punk wanting to attacking Rey Mysterio for his lifestyle that he lives, and Rey Mysterio wanting to get his revenge, and you can just sort of build it off that, and it'll be a good storyline heading into WrestleMania 26 with CM Punk going over Rey Mysterio, because CM Punk really needs to win over Rey Mysterio more than Rey Mysterio needs to win over CM Punk, because Rey Mysterio is always going to get those big matches, but CM Punk will need it more because it will get his character back on his winning ways. And then the sixth match on here would be between Vince McMahon and Bret Hart, a match that pretty much everybody's been waiting to see, and it's not going to be a very good matchup, but it'd be a good matchup to sort of protect Bret Hart's limitations of what he can do in the ring and what he can't do in the ring. So you can pretty much have a street fight, Bret Hart using weapons, doing a couple of moves, but not doing too many moves that'll sort of hurt him, and you could just have Bret Hart beat the hell out of Vince McMahon for getting his revenge for what Vince McMahon did to him in 1997, and then you could pretty much have Bret Hart go over and pretty much old-fashioned by putting Vince McMahon in a sharpshooter. So yeah, that'll pretty much be the match up right there, and I would have Bret Hart go over Vince McMahon. And then finally, the matchup that pretty much everyone wants to see, champion versus champion, a rematch from SummerSlam of this year, Batista and John Cena, to see who will be the champion, who will have the two belts. It'll be a very good matchup. The roles are reversed, of course, with Batista being the heel, John Cena being the face. You're gonna have some very good build up to this matchup. And in the end, though, I would have John Cena go over Batista, since Batista won the SummerSlam matchup. And like I said, the build up will be very good, and you just have some good you'll just have a good story headed into this matchup, and that's pretty much what the main event will be for me at WrestleMania 26 for the Dream card. But yeah, that's pretty much my video. Rate, comment, and I hope you enjoy your Christmas. Merry Christmas.